Hello and welcome, educators, innovators, leaders, and education leaders, actually, to this Tech Talk Tuesday for Teachers. My name is Meenakshi Oberoi, and I'm the CEO of TTTT25, and I welcome you to this session on Transform Your Curricula with AI. With me, I have my buddy in crime, Duhita Parmar, so I'll allow her to come and say hello to you before we move onward.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to yet another session of our Tech Talk Tuesday, talking about transform your curricula with AI. It's always a pleasure to see you. Please feel free to share any of your thoughts or queries in the chat window. We'll be more than happy to address the same and make the session as interactive as possible. Um, yeah, sure. Looking forward for your responses in the chat window. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Duhita. Yeah, go ahead, please. Go ahead. You wanted to say something?
Nothing much. The topic today that we are talking about is all about the word curricula and the word AI. That is all about artificial intelligence, which helps you to personalize your learning paths, making your content as engaging as possible so that your learners, the learners at the end of the road, they can be addressed. Uh, the analytics, everything can be identified. Plus, I'll just take another minute of yours. Please feel free to plan your PD sessions with us. We have our topics which are segregated into three main domains, that is leveraging AI in education. We have AI powered content creation and digital pedagogy in AI era. All these are in accordance with the K-12 CBSE aligned PD sessions, which talks about knowledge and practice, core values and ethics, professional growth, development as well. So, as the pedagogics and as certified CBSE resource persons, we would love to be there in your schools to host any of the PD sessions. We'll be sharing the details in the chat window as we move ahead towards the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dohita, for those subtle reminders. And yes, I think somebody said you can't hear us, but I mean,
Yeah.
Shika ma'am, I think what there's some challenge at your end because I can hear Dohita absolutely clearly. And can some of you give us a thumbs up to let us know if you can hear us properly? Okay, fantastic. So, Shika ma'am, I'd request you to kindly just rejoin so that you should be able to hear us. Okay, fantastic. Well, I have to begin this session today, first of all, by congratulating all the MI experts who have been selected. Duhita, to congratulations to you too. And to everyone in this room who had nominated themselves and have been accepted, and also to the new cohort of Microsoft Showcase Schools 2025-26. So, huge round of applause. Really, this is what we aspire and live for. This is what we want to do every day. So, yes, it's a great recognition. I think I had also put up on LinkedIn that it's, I think, my 11th time that I've been selected, but it still gives me butterflies in my tummy and flutters my heart when I have to receive whether I will receive an acceptance mail or not. So, huge congratulations to each and every one of you. Toita, you had raised your hand?
Oh, that was just by mistake.
No
Sorry.
problem. No problem. So, yeah, with that, well, the responsibility is all the more on us now. It is an added responsibility on our shoulders, on our little shoulders, to be able to do more, to engage a larger community into growing with us and learning more about Microsoft tools. There was a fabulous announcement this morning, and I can't wait to share it with you. You are the first ones hearing it from me. We had shared this with on our LinkedIn network, but the announcements are going out. Microsoft has shared it today. Announcements from us will come in tomorrow, but lucky you, you hear it first. So while you're here, let me give you a huge piece of news that Microsoft Copilot Chat will now be available on a larger with a larger and a broader spectrum. So what will it be, and what's coming in for you? Of course, we are going to share everything with you. The blog is already there. However, what this entails is that starting today, Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat and agents are rolling out in Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and OneNote for all users, creating a very unified chat experience across app for millions of people who use it at work every day. And you can do amazing things. Now, it's a great day for me to actually converse with you about this, because today we are talking about one of the biggest chunks, that is the curricula, and what is it that we can do. So, these updates can help you make Copilot your true thinking partner, or your AI assistant, as you like it, for doing just about anything. We're going to unpack many things. So those are just about the starting points. You could be doing anything from answering, getting your questions answered, to creating content, to sparking ideas, to automating tasks. There is so much that you can do. And yes, our October sessions will be focused on the power of Copilot to be able to do all of this. There is amazing, capability here. There is amazing opportunity here. Yes, thank you for those thumbs up and those claps, truly deserving. And you know what's best? We are here to be able to train you all of these, because we are Microsoft Global Training Partners. So when you hear it here and you go back to reflect and like what you're looking at, schools have been inviting us, and we've been busy with this. Schools have been inviting us from across the country, whether it is, Hyderabad, where I was, or, Bangalore or Pune, or so many places. We've been traveling like anything, training teachers across the length and the breadth of the country, Gujarat for that matter. So many places that we've been visiting, and really great to see this new wave of learning that is coming in. Fantastic. And on that note, once again, it's a pleasure to have you here. Join us this session as we explore one of the most exciting shifts in education, that is the integration of AI into curriculum design. We're not just talking about the new tools. I think that's something you know by now. What we are talking about is a mindset. What we are talking about is a mindset that empowers educators to reimagine these learning experiences, to personalize instructions, to prepare students, to be able to do your work faster. Where AI is not just present, it's foundational. It's like, if I have to do something, I'm going to look up Copilot, or I'm going to take Copilot's help, because that's my first co-tutor or my co-teacher. That's the kind of mindset that I'm talking about. And today's session is about possibilities, creativity, and transformation. So let's dive in. But I think I've spoken at length. It's time for me to ask you to kindly introduce yourself in the chat window and answer this question for me. What's your teaching superpower? Come on, let's share it in the chat window. Share your favorite pedagogy. One thing that, I think I'll do this comes to you just naturally, right? As a teacher. So, what's your teaching superpower? Share your favorite pedagogy. I'm waiting for your responses to come in the chat window. And of course, if you want to share anything else, you want to ask any questions, that's what we are here for. Go ahead. Fill our chat window. I really want loads of comments falling into our chat so that we hear from you, your pedagogy. Thank you, Swati ma'am. Hands on learning, exploration, and discover. Absolutely with you on that. That's your superpower. Shika ma'am says, ESRO Magica. Oh, that's something new. I haven't used that. That's nice to know. I'm going to explore that. Dialogue. Oh, yeah, that. You see, the kind of pedagogies that are going to be a part of our, the entire chat is going to collectively design, deliver, and, probably guide us through the entire session to see how to bring these pedagogies alive using AI. So go ahead, share in the chat window. We're waiting for your comments. Tasneem ma'am says quizzes. Oh, yeah. That's something that we love to do because you always need to check the level of understanding. You need to pause to think. Vishwa sir says bringing context to content for students. You bet. That's I think you nailed it for that matter. Love your thought. Nidhi ma'am says activity based and quizzes. Yes, because they get hands on. That's where they start thinking. Swati ma'am says smart goal setting. Oh, that's nice. And sets the class right. Absolutely. Keep these comments coming because it's important for us to know what's on your mind and what's your superpower. So, you may ask me why this topic and why should we be talking about transforming curricula? I think transforming curricula using AI is a pedagogical innovation or evolution is what I'll call it. Not just it's it really honestly we are much beyond that. AI is just about technology. No, I think it is the kind of pedagogical evolution that we can bring about using AI. And at heart, and literally at its heart, this transformation is about shifting from content heavy to context relevant, standardized approach to a personalized, a very individualized approach to that is dynamic and student centered, right? And I think AI allows us just that. And therefore, it is imperative that we empower educators to design these learning experiences where they can adapt to individuals' needs. It can make ground for creativity to be at play. It can encourage and inculcate a sense of inquiry in everything. So, while the core values of education, of are critical thinking, empathy, and collaboration, these are three pieces. I think that will remain always unchanged. And yes, you may ask, what's going to change and what's not. What's going to change here is instructional design. AI will enable us to make learning more personalized, adaptive, and data informed. Assessment. I think real time feedback and formative assessment tools or diagnostic assessment tools will become more accessible. As far as content creation, I don't think I need to say much because generative AI is I think everybody's game who hasn't really laid hands on that. It just helps you generate differentiated material very quickly. And student agency, I would say that learners, the students can explore, create, reflect using these AI enhanced tools. Then what doesn't change, what stays sacrosanct is the pedagogical intent, the why behind teaching. That remains rooted in our human connection and purpose. And I'm a big time purpose driven person. Therefore, I think that is the key that with this pedagogical intent or pedagogical purpose, I'm using AI for a purpose, not just a general usage, right? Then the teacher student relationship, I think AI just helps you and it supports you being there for your students. It doesn't just give you that free time to be able to have a conversation with your students, but also it helps you or in mentorship, it helps you being that guide by the side for the students. It helps you inculcate empathy. Yeah. And all of this helps us meet our curriculum goals. Your learning outcomes don't change, your standards don't change, your values don't change. They all anchor this curriculum. And what changes is what brings over here is differences that in instructional design. Yeah. I'm going to pause here because I have a number of comments that I haven't read and I really would want to. So, Bhargavji says that integrating music with all academic subjects, composing music on poems of a child's class or subject. Oh, that would be a dream. I mean, who doesn't like music, right? Music just, I think it just lightens and livens up your life at the same time. And there's somebody called Sati. Nice, interesting. Pedagogy of mathematics. Nice. That is still requesting you to keep sharing, so please do keep sharing. Sharanjit ma'am says that teaching beyond the text with relating context. That's a second context with Vishwasa. So yes, that's something that I'm going to talk about more. Context with is extremely important. Shravanti ma'am says that fun way of asking storytelling method. Oh yeah, who doesn't like telling a story and who doesn't like hearing a story nicely, right? Lalita ma'am says language pedagogy. Fantastic. Keep them coming. So what AI brings to table is that it has multitude of benefits that can revolutionize our curriculum design and the way we design our classroom instructions. You see, everything is not everybody's number A skill. Oh, sorry, uh, not a number, but then skill, right? I'm not A plus at everything, right? Classroom instruction is something that we need to be A plus at. Therefore, that's something that I would say we want to play. I would have placed on top over here. So one of the most significant advantage is that it increases my efficiency. It just helps me automate some of the things. And with this new capability coming in, email sorting with AI or Copilot is going to be a breeze. And believe you me, I've tried this. What I did was I looked at my email, and the number of emails that you get in a week is crazy sometimes, and sometimes you forget to respond. So I simply just asked Copilot, please look into my mails to let me know if I have not responded to an important mail or any meeting to be scheduled. Also, highlight my this week's schedule. Honestly, it's like some assistant sitting next to you, which will just roll out everything for you to take a look at it. And I had actually missed out on a few. And some of you might have received, I don't know if you're an audience today or not, some of you must have received some mail saying that, sorry, we missed your mail, and it was an important mail for us. And Copilot just helped me bring to my cognition that, hey, you haven't responded to this one. Yeah. So it really, really helps me streamline, increases my efficiency, and automates so many routine tasks for me. And also, freeing up valuable time for me to focus on interacting or preparing material or researching or learning every day for that matter. Yeah. So for teachers, I would say two things that teachers can focus on: student interaction and increase, or better out their instructional quality. That's number one for me. Additionally, I think there are powerful analytics. You've seen across Microsoft tools, you will see analytics coming in. How we utilize or leverage them is up to you. It can actually process vast amounts of student performance data, to understand the learning gaps, to be able to predict outcomes, to be able to suggest targeted interventions. But it is up to us how we leverage. And what we have seen is many of you don't even know that you have those dashboards available. If you go to your admin, if you ask your IT team to give you a weekly admin report of your class, that is a must for you. You will be astonished to see the kind of usages that are happening in your class, and you will be able to see and track so many aspects of learning that you'll be surprised. And of course, we did this session in one of the schools where they just wanted a data driven learning using Microsoft tools and just using Microsoft Insights. We actually deliberated with them for over 3 hours, and honestly we could have sat down for another 2 hours at least talking about that only, because of the kind of vast opportunity that lies. But we had to pause because it was heavy. And then what we did was, in the next 1 hour, a bonus hour is what we took, and we simply just started chalking out a plan for over the next 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months, the way we are going to leverage that data, because it's good to know. But what is it that I can do with it is something only a teacher can tell, that this is what I can do and this is what I will do. And you have to draft that plan. We can't do the walk with you, but we sit down to have those conversations with you to be able to identify these learning gaps, predict outcomes, and have suggest targeted interventions for students. And this data driven approach really enables informed decision making, and also it provides a very personal kind of a journey for student to learn, for the parent to see. So it's a great conversation to have. That's something that you can think about for your schools. And last but not the least, I think enhanced creativity and engagement is something you can take for sure, because you can increase interactivity, engagement in your class, bring in gamified learning experiences, have dynamic content running, and adapt in real time to students' responses. Now, that is something I absolutely love, because you're not just you know Okay, I have to pause here to bring you something, and I think I talk a lot, but then that's what actually strikes a conversation with you. So we're starting with these teach bites as well. Adwaita, yes, you have to chase me to release the teach bites, because this is what I love. scripts are there and we haven't really shot them very well. Therefore, we are taking another go at it. But you will see these teach bites coming in. So one of the teach bites, the first one that I did, and someone asked me, yeah, I said, where should we start? They said, you use the term digital pedagogy a lot. And we're not very familiar with what do you mean by digital pedagogy. So we started with that and we had a conversation about that. And I said, I'll give you a very simple example. Why do you use a PowerPoint? And you've used this PowerPoint, you've used this tool to generate a PowerPoint, you gave it, let's say Gamma AI or even Copilot. You gave them that, I'm teaching chapter 2 on rocks and minerals. I need a PowerPoint. It'll automatically generate a PowerPoint. And these days, these PowerPoint generated are so good that you can take them straight to the class, right? Now, you did that. But while we are doing that, the only thing that we are doing is we are putting the keywords from our chapter onto slides and talking with them. Is that digital pedagogy? Now, that's a question to ponder. And if not, what is digital pedagogy? That's something that I'm going to let you brew and, mull over and probably find answer in our teach bites as we release them. And we will, I promise. Yeah. Possibly October, but we will. Okay. So, what we're looking at is looking at these three big pieces so that AI is able to bring us, these capabilities to cater to our students with diverse learning styles and I think create adaptive content so that students stay not just engaged but immersed, not just viewing or listening or a fragmented response mechanism but and but I think more of you do and I'll guide you kind of a scenario. Yeah. I'll also pause to read Gitanjali. Hey Gitanjali, good to see you here. I'll read Gitanjali's comment. She said enhancing critical thinking on any topic and designing curriculum to enable that. Fabulous thought, and I think these are pieces that I'm bringing here in my next one. And why does this matter? Why should we do this AI integrated curricula? We have a beautiful curricula. Why do this, right? Well, integrated curricula will offer you two major pieces. Um, AI enables exploration. For example, uh, I'm doing a PowerPoint, but I bring in QReport to be able to help me increase interactivity. I put in not just diagnostic questions with the MCQs, but I also put in inquiry questions. I give them scenarios, I give them real life examples through that so that my students start thinking about it, not just viewing, right? Then you could use Adobe Express, Magic School AI, or Designer to design, create, and experiment about so many topics. AI just helps you reduce the burden of those routine tasks that we are spending so much time on, and it frees up my time for deep thinking and discovery. Like you said, you want discovery in your classroom. Use these tools. And I think the second major role that shift that happens is teachers become facilitators. Instead of information provider, you become a guide, a facilitator, a mentor, a coach, so many things. When you look at a coach, the coach in a football field will not start playing with students. They will be coaching them onto what is the right path to be able to be successfully pushing your ball into the post, right? So you have to look at uh, the role of an educator from that lens when you are thinking about um, bringing in this piece into teaching learning. Yeah. Some of the very common examples that you can think of is that mathematic differentiation. Please use Math Progress. I mean, it's literally at your tips, and you could be creating differentiated learning material for students just like that without much thinking. You could be using this for, science virtual labs. There's not everything that is available in our labs. So AI-powered virtual labs enable safe and I think inquiry-based science experiments. Um, in a very controlled digital environment. So it's not something that you're giving it to them and they might do anything with it. Especially look at Minecraft. I mean, look at the kind of labs, look at the kind of chemistry elements that you can create. You have a whole periodic table. You have, entire physics book can be converted into a Minecraft game, and you can invite your students to use that. And I think Gitanjali can give you more examples than me because she's been an avid user with her students. So yeah, I mean, there are so many ways in which you can just bring science to life, literally. What is Science Virtual Lab? Oh, fantastic. Good question. Thank you, Neeta ma'am, for asking. Sorry, Shika ma'am, for asking. Um, I'll show you what Minecraft has to offer. That'll give you kind of an idea of what do you mean by virtual labs. So, like I said, especially in chemistry, there are not many experiments that we all can do in the classroom, give it to our students. It's normally a show and tell that the teacher does, and the students will observe and, understand. I don't want to say understand because I've never understood if somebody else is doing it. I have to do it myself. Now, if you were to do it yourself, how do you do it? I think right now on your screen, let me know if you can't see Minecraft, but can you see my screen, Dvita, if you can confirm,
Yes,
please?
please. Yeah, it's
Thank you so
visible.
much. Yeah. So here you will find under Teach with Minecraft, and I'll give you this link. You will find under Science multiple places where you can experiment. See, this is a rocket building exercise. It's fantastic if you can take it to your students. These are the chemistry and physics science worlds. Now, I'm going to take you to both, but imagine you are teaching them about Newton's laws, but if you can apply Newtonian mechanics to optics and nuclear particles, I think we're providing them one of the best ways to learn. And I'll also show you some chemistry one, and you can already see the periodic table. So when you go over here, these are some of the clues to know more about the properties and the various placements and other things about periodic table. So you can actually explore the whole periodic table in this world. So all of these are available for you. Imagine horizontal projectile motions is what you can experience using these kind of pieces. You can even create music, so you can even go for um, interdisciplinary learning over here. There's a complete roller coaster ride. Now, to make this roller coaster ride run and to create this, you will put all your laws into motion, literally. Yeah. So here is the physics. Look at that, demonstrating the first law of thermodynamics by using transferable. I'm just going to give you these. You must go ahead and explore these. And similarly, for chemistry, you have atomic structures and isotopes, a scientific method over here. You can actually do your experiments. Now, look at this types of chemical reactions. You can't really give it in the hands of students to do it. But while you are in this world, you can actually give them, because this is all virtual and they can always, this has been submitted by Chandni. Wonderful. So you will see amazing, types of reactions with examples. You have supporting words available here. The entire lesson plan is available here. There is so much for us to explore that I can actually sit here the whole day and tell you all about Minecraft. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool. I'm giving you, a link in the chat window. It's not just about simulating videos, but actually creating these. It's wonderful to know, Swati ma'am, that you have these in your school because they do give you exposure. But if you can get hands-on with experimenting with these, nothing like it. So here's Minecraft, all yours. Go ahead and explore and come back to us if you have more questions on it. And Chandani Agarwal, Geetanjali, Monica Joshi, all of these are experts on Minecraft. We all are Minecraft mentors, so don't shy away from asking us more. Yeah. Today, of course, the time will only allow me to talk as much. However, in another session, if you'd like, we'll be happy to talk more. So this is a very safe and controlled digital environment, which you can actually take to your students. Then language arts assistance, very important, especially during writing assignments. Students need a feedback on grammar. Grammarly is there. Then my writing style, coherence in writing, all of this refining what we are helping students do. you can give them a very controlled environment where you simply have to open your Word document. And now I can say this because it's already available from today. Open your Word document, you invite your students to open. On the right hand side, you have a Copilot window. Simply just say, check this for grammar, style, and coherence, which is fine. You're anyway going to correct it. So it's better that they get real time feedback on grammar, style, enhancing writing skills, which, we might not be able to reach out to every student to say, but AI can facilitate this very simply. And what else AI can facilitate? Cross disciplinary learning. I gave you one example between music and physics. You can actually combine coding with storytelling. What you'd asked me for storytelling. You can do data analysis with social studies data that you have. They always have said we learn so much from our past, but do we? I mean, do we really pause to think about it? Because all we do is cram up dates, cram up timelines, make those timelines. What am I learning out of it? Timeline? No. What I need to know was, what was the success of this dynasty? What were the failures? What should I apply this in today's era? What will happen if I apply learning from this dynasty into 10 years from now? How differently should that dynasty look? Right? So, those are the kind of conversations that the student should be engaging in so that, these examples will help them illustrate how AI can actually enrich the curriculum and content and promote deeper thinking and support diverse, learning goals that we have. So, we're not just enabling these cross-disciplinary projects, but what we are doing is we are combining knowledge from different walks of life and subjects and blurring the subject lines to be able to make learning possible. So, to do all of that, I think AI is something that will be super helpful. And of course, pedagogical inclusions. I think educators can design curriculum units that are not really academically rigorous, but also relevant for students' life. I just gave you an example of history. You can think of on the similar lines. Uh, and I've spoken about this before, and at the risk of repeating myself, I'm going to tell you which what my co-founder Minakshi Alawat always says. My students used to read about Kabuliwala. They could not make a connect because they've never seen a Kabuliwala walking down the streets with a jhola and nuts in it. And why should you? Because you get nuts in the shops, right? So why should a Kabuliwala come? And what do you mean by Kabuliwala? Was that his name? If not, why was he called Kabuliwala? Do they even know where is Kabul? Those students are very well informed today, but I think a connect, not just geographically, but culturally, and also a connect to the past and to also the origin of these dry fruits is something that's super helpful. So these kind of pedagogical inclusions is what I'm talking about, makes learning much more relevant for our students. Yeah. And thank you for those comments that are coming in. Please keep filling our chat window. I can talk till the end of the day and more. But the goal of education is something do not want to deviate from. So the goal of education, this quote I absolutely love. The goal of education is not to increase the amount of knowledge, but to create possibilities for a child to invent and discover. And you know what's most beautiful? When I asked you about your superpower as a teacher, your favorite pedagogy, you could see many shades of that coming alive. So beautifully captured that this shift from traditional content heavy education to a more inquiry driven, student centered approach, not just about knowledge acquisition, is what we are, I think, moving towards. It's not just about memorizing facts or covering content, it is about engaging with ideas, asking questions, exploring, and basically thinking about thinking. Oh, talking about that. Some of the frameworks is something that we heavily rely on when we are looking at transforming our curricula, and these are some of the most popular pieces that we think about as far as the frameworks that we look at when we are transforming or we are thinking of transforming education. The summer model is something that I think that was one of the first tech model that I started using. And those of you who are new to summer, S stands for substitution, A is for augmentation, M is for modification, and R is for redefinition. So when you're trying to transform a curriculum, please look at these four pieces. This is one of the ways. So there are multiple models that I had shared in the last slide. I'm just going to go through them one by one and see how AI can actually help you here. So while substituting, while you're just starting with AI, bringing in AI, I think AI replaces your traditional tools. For example, spell check is something that we can heavily give to editor in Word. Yeah, I don't have to do it. Editor can do it. So when the students are writing, or when they bring in the work, Grammarly, probably Word editor, all of these tools can really help. That's simple substitution. That instead of me doing it, somebody else is doing it. Augmenting means improving upon the task efficiency, which means auto grading, which means when I'm using reading progress, I don't have to sit there, give them a task, then see how they're speaking, then evaluate that. No, AI can do that for me, and I'm there to check and see and validate what has been done. That's augmenting. Yeah. Modification would be transforming your task, for example, adaptive platforms, and I don't need to elaborate on that. You modify your the way you're working. You are looking at various examples, and I'm going to in the next slide, talk more about that. Redefinition in the whole sense is something what we just spoke about, enabling new tasks, which means it was not possible for me to conduct those chemistry experiments or those physics laws to be brought to life unless some of them are you are able to do it, some of them are risky. Therefore, take them to a virtual world and allow those virtual labs to be in your class to do that. So the goal here is to evaluate how AI can transform these learning tasks. And for substitution, Microsoft Copilot is my first to go, definitely, for writing support. Grammarly, like I said. For augmentation, reading progress, math progress, both Microsoft. For modification, I might go to Magic School AI, I might go to Curipod, I might go to quizzes. So any of those will help me modify because I'm just making my lesson design more interactive by bringing in curifying my slides using Curipod, or I take it to quizzes where the quizzes or Kahoot for that matter. That would be modification. For redefinition, I would go to definitely Magic School AI, Adobe Express, Kahoot. Along with, I think, Magic School AI, I might also rely on multiple other tools like School AI. Um, there are multiple others. I think I've spoken so many times about these, but one thing, Diffit is something that I absolutely love, especially for senior classes. So these are some of the pieces that you can use if you are, if you use a summer model in your schools. If you're like me, a TPAC fan, I'm a huge TPAC fan. This is something I think since 2015 I've been pushing into schools, and this was something that teachers took to very easily, even better than the summer model, because this makes a lot of sense to people who want to shift from content heavy to possibly going ahead for uh, being more context heavy and asking a simple basic question as to who comes first. Who do we define first? Do we look at the tool first? Do we look at the pedagogy first or the content first? So this brings in absolutely, an amazing view to see how to use this. So if you're looking at the technological knowledge, you must know about the AI tools and platforms before you begin. So this is before you begin, okay? Uh, Explore a lot. It's very important that you should know about everything as to what's the capability of various tools. Number two, pedagogical knowledge, teaching strategies. You have to think about your teaching strategies and pedagogies. Number three, subject matter expertise. You all are, right? So I don't need to really dwell into that. Intersection ensures meaningful AI interaction integration. How? You put content on top, whatever you're supposed to teach. Let's say you were looking for science virtual lab. We said chemistry. We narrowed it down to chemical reactions. Now, for this chemical reactions, what do I want? The kind of pedagogy that I'm looking for is pretty hands-on. I want them experimenting. I want inquiry questions coming in. Okay, take them to Copilot, design a plan, and then go to Minecraft to be able to give them experience. You see, the tool came at the end. Another very simple example, which I've given for years, and I think people make a connect, right, direct connect there. All of us, whenever we give project work to our students, they do take, they do use Microsoft Forms to take a survey or collect data. Now, when once they do that, they will bring that data. and represent that data using Excel. Actually, not using Excel. What they do is they actually look at, they use bars physically. They don't use automated creation. What we are looking at is using Excel's Analyze AI, that there is not just one bar graph or a line graph that is available. There are multiple other ways of representation. And then what do you understand from that data? What is your conclusion? That conclusion is never that substantive. So, what we're looking at is survey. Why are you doing this survey? I need to have a knowledge about a particular segment of people about a particular topic. That is your content. For this content, your pedagogy is that you're using the survey. For the survey, the kind of tools that you will use is what I have defined. So that's the layering that we do with TPAC. And that's the way TPAC can be authentically used for all these purposes. As far as AI tools are concerned, for technological processes, if you want to improvise, then you have to look at search progress. You must look at it and speaker progress. For pedagogical, I think Magic School AI will do amazing lesson scaffolding and Q report and Defect. Content, Microsoft Designer helps you create amazing content. Copilot helps you create content these days, and so does Adobe Express. All three tools will offer you different variety of content. For example, I showed you in the last session about a particular topic. I wanted scenario cards, I wanted flashcards, and I wanted a PowerPoint. Very quickly, Copilot could give me all the three, right? Now, if I were to go to Microsoft Designer, flashcard templates are already available. I can make my own choice. So if you're doing a very quick one, go to Copilot. If you want to do it your way, go to Designer, choose the template, and then create. And if you're going to Adobe Express, it'll offer you capabilities of, choosing different types of probably the nuances of font, formatting, um, design, layouts, then video capabilities, audio capabilities, all of those are something that I would heavily rely on Adobe Express. Yeah. So start with the learning goals. Oh, sorry. So this is the next one. So that's how we pack in, TPAC. I'm going to take a pause here because I see a question. Okay, Gitanjali says, now that we are again a Microsoft Showcase School, hey, huge congratulations there. So can use Copilot Studio and Power BI. Copilot Studio to make our own bots. Definitely. And if you are anyone over here is new to Copilot Studio, it's a standalone app. It's not an integrated app. You require a Microsoft Studio license, and it's a pay as you go kind of a scenario via Azure. And we can help you understand more about it. But what you can do is build bots for interactive learning, IT help desk, or administrative support. For example, during admission times, you have those forms that people fill physically. Well, just make it virtual. Ask, Copilot or all these Power BI tools to do the sorting for you, and you can actually explore creating bots for education for multiple purposes. I'll give you a link in the chat window, and thank you, Gitandi, for bringing it here, and of course for personalized student engagement as well. And you know what's the most beautiful part? Copilot agents can be used for this purpose absolutely beautifully. There is so much. They are like, your FAQ kind of a person in your room. So students can actually use that. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Um, and of course, the next piece that I'm picking up is backward by design. I learned it way back that when you have the end already in your mind, you can reach your goal in a much better way. Yeah. So you always start with your learning goal and desired outcome. If you know what you're requiring for your students to write in the exam, I'm talking about very basic right now. Okay. I want my students to answer, and this is something that I have already tried in my class and worked wonders. There is a question which is very frequently, in different formats. It is asked for from students as a part of their examination, and we all use last year's question papers. But what we do is we provide our students question papers. Ideal answers, or real answers is something that we could look at. So Look at or think about it as a piece, as if you were to tell Copilot to say, I need to answer this question, these many words, must use these keywords, and create five exemplar responses for this question. I would love to take that, customize it because I am the content expert. So I will customize that or make those changes that are relevant. Pick up those five pieces and give it to every student to read. Why? Because I'm teaching them the skill to respond to a question which we normally do not have time to accommodate. It's very important. If you are expecting or desiring for your students to write or tell or say or make something in a certain way, they must know what's on your mind because that is invisible to students. They cannot read your mind at all. So, determine your assessments to measure that success, plan instructions using AI and personalization and feedback. And there are multiple tools to help you that. To set your goal, and sometimes, we're not very clear about our goals as well. Because I'm not sure if this is the learning outcome, what is the path that I should take? Go to Magic School AI, put your learning outcome over there to say, how do you think, can you break this down into a 5 week process for my students to learn? And you're not moving away from your standards or your learning objectives or your learning outcomes, yet you're getting a complete plan which could be very focused on the learning outcome. Similarly, for your assessment in quiz, Kahoot, and or math progress, wherever you are, at each of these places, be very clear about your outcome that you are looking for. I hope you know Math Progress also offers you insights into misconception that each student has. It's an amazing insight to have. I absolutely am in love with that feature. Then for instructions, Reading Coach, Curipod, Adobe Express are amazing tools. I cannot, not mention Bloom's taxonomy. Raise your hand if you haven't heard of it. And I know there will be no hands raised here. We all have been ardent users or believers of Bloom's taxonomy, and rightly so. Why not? And if we look at an integration between AI tools and Bloom's taxonomy, that's where you can really bring a change. For remembering, simply use quizzes and reading progress. If you're at an understanding stage, you could look at Microsoft Copilot or Magic School AI or DFIT. At application stage, think about math progress and Q report. At analysis stage, please look at search progress, speaker progress. At evaluation stage, think of peer review via Copilot. Students don't know how to give a review to each other. Use Copilot, please. Kahoot debates. Oh, they are a rage, I think. They are beautiful if you take them to the class. And for creation, you know the tools. I don't even need to mention those. But this was a beautiful piece that was shared on LinkedIn, and I picked this up. And I absolutely love the way they have so beautifully drawn how Bloom's taxonomy meets artificial intelligence. It's a guidance tool for you right now. I'm just going to share this in the chat window because I know many of you will be taking screenshots and they will not be very clear. So I will be very generous and I will share this. This is not my piece. I give all the credit to this is by the way Tim's work. So I'm just going to give all the credit to Tim over here and thank him for sharing this with us because this is beautiful. So if I catch anything like this on the web, I just bring it to you. Yeah. So these are some of the things that I wanted to bring to you, but what I want to bring to you most is you can get lost in the sea of things that you can transform in your curricula. But please remember, these random acts of AI adoption is something that we need to start rethinking. It is only good to know what is possible to stay in that random act. You have to move from those random acts to a structured approach for AI in education. We at Pedagogics formulated this RAAIA to SAAIE in January of 2025. We have transformed multiple classrooms, multiple forums using just this belief. And this belief is something that can take you really far if you have a structured approach. We act as education consultants to schools to be able to bring them from the random act of adoption, AI adoption, to a very structured approach. If you look at our K-12 portfolios, I think Duita's shared. Okay, Duita, please do share the links. I'll be happy to share those as well. Take a look at it. These will give you a partial view of what's possible, and give you more ways to be able to connect with us. Thanks, Duita, for that. And I shall drop these links in the chat window for you to explore. Yeah. And this session, yes, you will get a certificate, but you have to take a test. To take the test, I'll be just sharing the link with you. So the process is, you've been a part of this session. You take a test which will have about 5 or 6 questions. You have to score 80%. Yeah, that's not much. And then pay a nominal fee of 200 rupees to be able to get the certificate. We take about 2 to 3 days to be able to give you the certificate. And thank you to all of those who have been so. I think we've had some 93 people last time take the test and excel at it. I think it just gives you that added confidence about yourself that you have learned. So fantastic. And thank you for taking that leap, shifting from not just, taking the test, but being able to earn that certificate at the end of it is something that gives a lot of joy to our educators. So, yep, the QR code is in front of you, and I'm giving you the link to today's test in the chat window. There you go. That's the link there. And please go ahead and take the test and excel at it. I'm sure you will. You've been a great listener, and I think many of you have been great participants as well. So thank you for that. Take your test. Have a good go at those questions. I will let you do that. But before you do that, just about two more things. We are almost in the middle of the month today, 16th of September. Our next session is going to be on 23rd of September, next Tuesday, the human approach to AI adoption. Yes, come back and let's continue to be human and see more ways of being human. Please do not forget to give us a feedback. We would love to hear from you. And yes, of course, thank you so much for joining us. It's always a joy, a pleasure, and a privilege to meet you in this room. I'll leave you with the link over here and the QR code hanging in, because I know you're going to take the test. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dohita. Thank you, everybody. Have a really wonderful week ahead. I'll see you next Tuesday on 23rd of September. Thank you. Bye bye.